Hello everybody and welcome back to another hardcore create video. And in today's video I don't really have much planned, but I do however know that I want to make a new base with a bigger and better workshop. Also, I built all of this off camera because I want to have a little diamond factory right here and all this extra space we can use to make the stuff required for the diamond factory, because we need diamonds, because as of right now we have 1 diamond to our name and that is not good. And you guys might be wondering, how are we going to make diamonds? Well, if we go to the crushing recipes, as you guys can see, we can crush blocks of experience to get diamond at a 30% chance using the create more automation mod. Now you can get blocks of experience by compacting them using a 3x3 crafting grid, but to get nuggets of experience you're going to have to use sandpaper on zinc. And to get 9 zinc ingots we're going to need to wash crushed raw zinc. To get crushed raw zinc we're going to need to crush asterin, and to get asterin you can mix it using cobblestone and blue dye with a blaze burner. It's crushed scoria to get lapis lazuli, and then turn the lapis lazuli into blue dye, because we can make scoria using chocolate and water. That's a lot of stuff. However, we're not going to do all that right now. Instead, we're going to focus on making our base. So for this house, I want to have a couple steam engines inside of it, obviously a workstation, and I also want to have a little room by itself for cooking, because we do have Farmer's Delight in this mod pack. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and start cutting down these trees. Once again, I'm not really sure what kind of base I'm going for, but I do know that I want to have a little pathway right here and some crops right here. And I think right here I can do something pretty cool to me. Let's try this. We're gonna grab these 3 blocks and let's go like this. 3, 5. Yo, what kind of tree is this? Dark oak? Wait, hold on. That's actually really good. The reason why this is really good is because normally we can't automate dark oak logs because, you know, it's a 2x2 sapling, but with this now we can. I think that kind of looks nice. The path is definitely going to be random. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for that. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. Since these blocks are kind of dark, I'm thinking we can go for like an oak or spruce look right here. Let's try oak, see how that looks. Now, I don't want this building to just be one set of colors, so I need diorite and calcite, hopefully. Let's go look for some diorite and calcite. All right, I found some. Let's try to get a couple stacks at least. Oh my god. We're gonna head home and try to figure out a way to automate calcite really quickly. So for calcite, we just need a blaze burner and a mixer, put some stone and a white dye. That shouldn't be too difficult. Luckily, I have 45 bones. That should definitely be enough. Okay, yeah, I think I like that. So we're gonna start off with limestone. In order to do that, we're gonna have to break this down again because it's not really in a pattern right now. All right, and then we get limestone, birch diorite. I don't know what it is, but something is definitely off. All right, looking at it now, the birch plank don't really fit. Let's try birch logs instead. I think that would be a much better design. Oh, that's actually perfect. That's exactly how I imagined it, right? And then we can just top this off. Now that the front is looking a little more stable, let's try to focus on the other sides. Oh my god, that guy scared me. Red merchant. Cannon? And a cannon? I have to. Alright, does this actually work? No way. It needs gunpowder. Okay. Oh, that's so sick. I gotta have a bunch of those. Wait, can we make cannonballs? Oh my god. We finally found a use for iron. I'm gonna make a crap ton of cannonballs really quickly. We look at this. Yeah, that actually looks pretty cool. Even though it has no roof, no lights, no bed, no path. Anyways, let's continue working on the house. I do want to have a little stone roof for this little area right here. Let's try to figure out how that's going to look. Before we do that, I want to sprucify this area a little bit. So let's grab some stairs really quickly. Yeah, I don't really like this design, but you know, it's whatever. Oh my god, I can't build, bro. So let's go boom, 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 boom. Yeah, okay. And then we can have some moss right here. I think that would look pretty nice. All right, for now, I guess let's just expand these walls really quickly. And then we have limestone, birch, diorite. Limestone, birch, diorite, calcite. Now I think we're gonna go up 2 more blocks and then we can have the main roof installed as well. Oh my god. What? No, he's built different. Yeah, I think I like that. We're gonna stick with that for sure. So we might as well recreate it on the other side as well. I'm gonna go ahead and add some oak logs right here because we do need to add some variation, and I think that would look nice. Same for this side as well. I think I'm gonna go ahead and strip this because I think that would look much better, and if not, it is gonna be a little annoying to replace this again. Yeah, that's definitely better in my opinion. Same for the other side. Alright, the next step is definitely gonna be adding some moss. However, I don't think we have any moss. Let me go check all of my chests really quickly. Now that we have the moss, let's go ahead and start placing this down. Alright, so it is currently the next day and I want to show you guys my little base. As you guys can see, I added some new stuff. So really quickly, if we come over here, this is the steam engine. It is a level 9 steam engine. It's pretty loud actually. So right here is we're going to put the charcoal in to refill it because underneath we have a little mechanical arm to feed all of the blaze burners. Actually, I'm not even sure for using all of the stress units, but you know, it's whatever. Anyways, if you come out here, we have a little workshop, which is 2 floors by the way. And we also have a little fuse box right here. So the first machine that I made was this little thing. So really quickly, I can just show you guys. You put a stack of iron ingots and it turns into sheets very quickly, as you guys can see. So we're definitely going to be using that a whole lot. And this is actually very, very loud. Over here, we have our smelting and washing station. So for example, right here, we can put a bunch of logs and it will turn into charcoal because we are constantly going to need charcoal to keep our factory running. Over here, we have a little deployer system. You can put like a stack of stripped oak logs and it will get deployed into casing. Right here we have an automatic millstone, so we just put whatever we want right here. So for example, we're going to put a stack of cobblestone. It is going to get milled down into gravel, and the gravel is going to end up right here. Over here we have just a normal mixer, and then right here I like this very much. So let's grab a stack of iron and 9 stacks of andesite. So over here we're going to put iron nuggets. Right here we're going to put regular old andesite, and then we are going to get andesite alloy to be produced out of it. So there you go. That's our workshop. Basically everything's semi-automated. Actually, if we come up here, we have a little grinder which we can use to grind whatever we need. Over here we have a little stripper. Hey yo, we're getting a bunch of logs out of this. I'm actually kind of curious to see how much stress units we're using. So really quickly, I'm going to check. Wow, we're not using that much. We do not lead in level 9 steam engine. Holy, okay. Oh, actually, I need to give you guys a tour of the base really quickly. So on the first floor, we just have a bunch of chests because I want to be able to run in here and just grab whatever I need. Come up these staircase, we have a little kitchen over here, which we can cook using the Farmer's Delight mod. We also have a little refrigerator, which is kind of cool. We can make ice. And then if we go up again, we have this room, which I'm not really sure what I'm going to put here. You guys can decide on that. Go up 1 more floor, and we have the master bedroom. This is where I'm just going to sleep. The reason why I wanted this room is because if we come over here, we have a little chimney which we can easily leave from. And our base is looking pretty nice. So yeah, that is the little base tour. Anyways, now that we got the base out of the way, I think what I want to do is make a couple little farms. Now I wanted to show you guys this because we're going to use some of these electric motors and connectors with some wires, which basically that's going to allow us to have some wires transferring power across our world. Because if we come down here, as you guys can see, we have 147,000 stress units, we're not using all of that. So, you know, we might as well convert some of that into a different power source into another building, which means we're going to have to make some power lines, some girders, whole lot of stuff. But anyways, let's go ahead and craft up some of these electric motors. For this, we're going to need some mechanical crafters, specifically 12. So let's go ahead and craft that up. I believe it's just like that. And I want all of this stuff to come out over here onto a depot. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I got a toilet now, and this is how you clean it. Actually, let me go ahead and use it. And now we can grab our resources, which we're going to need a whole bunch of stuff that we have yet to have. You know what, I'm just going to plop this down right here because I'm not really sure where else to put it. And I believe we need to put some copper sheets. So we're just going to put copper in here. It's going to turn into sheets. We can put the sheets in here. That'll turn it into wire. This is a lot of crafting. All right, how does this work? Do I just drop it? Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, while we're waiting, we're also going to need some brass sheets. I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 stacks of brass to press. We also need iron rods. We should just put iron in here. And finally, we need some capacitors, which is zinc sheets, copper sheets, and redstone. This, and then andesite on top. Yep, and that is pretty fast. Okay, so I'm just gonna repeat this over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, we're gonna need alternators as well to make that. Kind of the same thing, actually. Just iron sheets instead of brass. And just like that, we have 11 electric motors and 10 alternators. All right, another thing we need to make are some slime balls. You can make slime balls using dough and lime dye. So we need to figure out how to automate lime dye as well. Wow, but this is actually a lot of stuff we need to make. All right, here's the game plan. Firstly, we're going to make 2 buildings somewhere in this area. One for slime balls and the other for limestone. We need the slime balls first in order to get the limestone because I want to have power lines across all these buildings connecting up to my base. Now, these buildings are going to be very small, so it doesn't really matter where I put them. So let's go ahead and start with the slime balls. So for slime balls, we need dough. Dough is super easy to make. It's just going to be water, wheat flour into a mixer. And to get wheat flour, we're going to have to crush down some wheat or mill it down. Doesn't matter. So we just need to have a wheat farm, which you can make using rollers. And to get green dye, we can just cook down some cactus. We can easily make a cactus farm. So here's what I'm thinking. We're going to have a little 3x3 bridge right here into the actual building. The building itself is definitely going to be built out of spruce and oak. I built the house and it does look a little bad, but we can always add the detail later. Ow. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna have the millstone right here because on the back over here, we're gonna have a little wheat farm. It's gonna feed directly into the millstone. And then we're gonna have a mixer right here, which is the wheat flour is gonna go straight into here. Now, the only issue is that we're gonna have seeds in here, which we don't want the seeds to go in here. So instead, we're gonna have a brass funnel right here set to the seeds only. And then that's just going to fall down into a barrel right here. So then all our seeds will end up right here. Over here, we're going to have wheat flour. Should already be ready in there. Next, we're going to need some water inside of here. So what I'm thinking is that we're going to have a little secret water source right here. And then on top of it, we can put the mechanical pump. Now that I think about this, this isn't going to work. So we're going to have a cogwheel right here. Power these. And then the shafts are going to go up here. And then right here is where we're going to have our little power line. So now we need to figure out another way to deal with the seeds. And we also got to figure out how to power this. But this one shouldn't be too difficult. What I'm thinking is we can have some cogwheels over here like that. And then some shafts. And then we can just cover it up with some andesite casing just like that. As for the seeds can end up over here. We don't really care about them. Actually, hold on. As for the seeds are going to end up over here into a composter. I'm not going to lie, that wasn't even planned. That just all came together perfectly. So now, theoretically, once we have the wheat farm in and this is powered, we should automatically be producing some dough. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we are going to need a spot to put the dough. So I'm just going to add this little contraption like so. Just like that. Everything should be working now once we add the wheat. So that is the dough out of the way. And which we also have bone meal as a byproduct. Next, we need to make a little cactus farm. For that, we're going to need cactus and this place to put it. I don't really want to make another building for it. So we're just probably going to put this underground.
Scratch that, I found a new way to get lime dye.
And this is actually directly as well. So we can just smelt this and get lime dye instantly. But we are going to need the bone meal from that farm to use over here to get lime dye. So either way, it's a win-win. I'm actually glad because now this is going to take up so much less time. Now that we have that out of the way, we still need to make our little wheat farm. So really quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and make ourselves 4 harvesters. And we're also going to need some portable storage interfaces. I forgot about that. Now, all that's left to do is add some barrels and plant the seeds. I'm not going to lie, I never thought that I would run out of oak logs, but here I am. I'm only on my last 2,000. All right, and with that, there's one last thing to do, and that is to power this little thing up here. We're going to need an electric motor for that and an alternator. We're also going to need some of these small connectors, which we're gonna need slime balls and copper rods for. Alright, so if I remember correctly, we put an electric motor right here, and then we put a small connector. Okay, I don't remember correctly actually. Yeah, that's not pulling nothing. Okay, let me figure this out really quickly. Okay, it's working, it's working. Let's turn this up. Okay, I just figured it out. 192. That's kind of slow, but it is automatic. We're generating dough. There you go. This pump is actually kind of slow. All right, well, it works, but it is quite slow. I'm gonna see if I can route some more power into this. Wait, you know what? We do that, right? Generating 90, using 90, right? And then we just gear ratio it normally. See how many times we can do that. Large cogwheel, small cogwheel. Hopefully we can go at least twice. We can. There you go. That is much faster. Perfect. Okay. We also have some room up here. I think this is just going to be a little storage room. All right. So now we are passively generating some dough. Come over here. We are also passively generating some bone meal. And we can also throw in some extra saplings in there if we wanted to generate even more bone meal. That way we can bone meal our little seed pickles over here and get slime balls super easily. But I think that is going to be the end of this episode. I will see you guys in the next one. Later.